Hey everybody, welcome to this little video today, and what I want to talk through is something that's been a discussion point within my paid community, the Ecom Blueprint and Uplevel Mastermind programs, where we help e-commerce brands scale. And it's something that I really want to kind of, share my 13 years experience with you and what I observe in basically a micro and macro level of e-commerce business founders. And so as smaller business owners, small to medium-sized businesses, we typically think of ourselves on a much smaller scale. Okay, whereas if you look at anyone outside big companies that may have been around for a decent amount of time or just have a decent amount of market share, you can see how aggressively and assertively they market their businesses. They literally have no barriers, or what I would sort of consider or relate to no shame in putting as much paraphernalia and marketing material out there as possible. And we as consumers, observers, don't think anything of it. It basically just creates more omnipresence, more brand awareness, and we feel that they are almost allowed to do that. However, what I find in speaking with brand owners, and again, I was in this boat myself for a long time, still kind of am, and I have to kind of check myself every now and then, is that we must act as if, okay, like us as small or medium-sized business owners sort of have that perception of, well, I'm not worthy of that. I'm not a big business yet. I can't send multiple emails in a day or a week or a month because it's going to annoy people, right? Can you see the disparity between big business, small business? Right? And there's probably a very good reason why people are still small business and never get beyond small business, and why big businesses continue to grow and become bigger businesses. And this is one of those fundamental things. And so, as I say, it's very much kind of a mindset shift of, I am worthy, I have something to talk about, my brand is what people want to hear about, that you need to adopt within yourself, because no one can actually do it for you. Your self-consciousness is only within yourself. But when you let that go, when you give yourself permission to let go of that self-consciousness, then it opens up a world of opportunities. And so this is what's been really valuable for me, is talking through this with myself about, basically questioning why you feel a certain way. Why do I not feel worthy enough or valid enough to actually send out correspondence? Why do I not feel worthy enough to be able to communicate with people? Is it because I got one email, back one time that said you sent too many emails? Or is it because I got 2 unsubscribes from the last campaign that I did? When you actually question it in a factual, real way like that, putting tangibility around it, it makes it sound so silly. And I think that as you do that, and I'd encourage you to do that yourself, about why we are hesitant, why we feel like certain marketing efforts specifically are only, saved for bigger businesses, you just basically see holes in what you falsely believe. It's an absolute fallacy and a complete opposite to the truth. Right? Versus if you switch lanes, if you feel worthy, if you feel valid, if you have the belief that your brand is worth putting out there, again, you'll have that opposite effect that really create a bit of a law of attraction, that people reflect that same belief. Okay, so what I basically teach people in our community, these 2 main things that must be remembered all the time. 1, no one knows about you. You have to make that assumption that no one knows about you, not because you sent the email last week, last month, last year, not because they're seeing your ads, not because you're posting every single day. Right? People don't know about you. That is assumption number 1. Everybody is new, okay? Seeing you for the first time. So what does that mean? That basically, again, takes the shackles off and says, if no one sees that thing I did yesterday, an hour ago, half an hour ago, last week, then I need to do more, right? So it creates the urgency for volume. The second thing is to understand, firstly, no one knows about you. Secondly, everyone wants to know about you. Okay, again, you have to have that belief. If you've started a business and you're offering a product that is of value to people, I can only assume you're not a scammer. Like, let's just paint that picture, that you're a genuine business owner that believes in honesty and providing value in exchange for money. Then you have to have the belief that everybody wants to know about you. You have to tell people about your stuff, and you have to be able to communicate it frequently and en masse, and have no, lack of a better word, shame in doing so. Because again, no one knows about you, people want to know about you, right? If you keep ping-ponging back and forth from that, the shackles that you put on yourself about what's too much completely dissipate. It literally means you can't do enough, therefore you have to do more. No matter what level, because what's more for me is maybe 10 times more than it is for you, right? I'm like, okay, 10 posts a day, you're like once a week. So, and you might think more is, going 2 times a week. I'm like, 20 times a week. So it's obviously subjective with what more actually means, but nonetheless, it's again, urgency that you can probably double, triple, quadruple your volume of what you're actually doing. Now, a lot of people, when they think in that way, they're like, okay, cool. I can get over that hurdle. I understand what that actually means. But the second part to that is, jeepers, I don't know what to actually say or present or create. Okay, so then this becomes, people give the excuse that I don't know what to produce or create. and they let themselves get off the hook, it doesn't remove the problem of you not actually doing more. And so you have to really push yourself and box yourself in and dedicate the time to get good at creating that content. We have infinite resources for idea creation. Gone are the days and the excuses where people can say, myself included, I just don't know what to create today. I've got no ideas. ChatGPT will give you 100 ideas in 5 seconds if you ask it to, right? So don't let yourself get away with that is basically what I'm saying. And I had to pull myself up on that too. This is just speaking from real experience here. You should have your black book of ideas that you actually got to create content, whether it's socials, whether it's ads, whether it's emails. And coming towards that is also offers, right? Something to talk about, something incentivizing to talk with people about is having a black book of offers that people will respond to. Okay, so give people an excuse to open your emails. Give people an excuse to read what you're about. You have infinite ideas and resources to actually present to people on a very, very frequent basis, like a 24/7 basis, essentially. And again, coming back to, my original point about the volume that big businesses do, you have to just look at that and admire that and then basically replicate that. And some are going to hit, you'll get a lot that miss, but it really doesn't matter. It's just through the volume that you're able to understand what those metrics actually are, so that you're never flat-footed. You never, what can I do next? What can I do next? Often it's about just the effort and volume that is what you can do next. Basically, if in doubt, post. If in doubt, send an email. If in doubt, present an offer. It's not going to hurt. It's going to only help your business actually grow and get out of any ruts that you might be or any fluctuations that you might be seeing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And so again, coming back to my original point of this is it's often a fallacy that people think that they can't be marketing more, and they use the excuse on themselves. They justify it to themselves to let themselves off the hook, and then the end result is lack of sales or poor performance. So again, I just want to give you power back and encourage you that firstly, it's normal to think this, but then I want you to level up and say, well, bigger businesses do this, therefore I am and I can and I should be worthy of doing that same thing as well. Don't hamstring yourself or restrict yourself by thinking otherwise. Okay. And to use those tools, no one knows about us. Everybody wants to know about us. And then this part 3 of that is essentially the content creation piece. So again, back yourself into a corner and say, I have to do X, Y, Z now, today, next week, whatever it might be, and stick to a schedule that you know you need to basically to get the jobs done. Don't let yourself get off the hook just because of the content creation aspect or the time to actually go and do it. The only one that's missing out is yourself. Okay. And it doesn't feel good time after time after time where I should have done that post. I should have done that email. I should have done this. Again, I've been there, guys. And I see people go through it. And that's what I'm here to tell you. And I guess help you be self-accountable with that. Okay. So that's all I wanted to address today, because I've seen ridiculous amounts of growth with my businesses and also, clients with our community. We're just having this mind frame shift and the permission to do more and expecting more of yourself as well. Okay. And just getting rid of all those excuses so that you can push through those barriers that you can do and you really want to do, at the end of the day. Okay. So that's all I wanted to chat through. I hope it was valuable for you. If it was, I'd love a like, I'd love a subscribe. If you want to know more about how we help e-commerce businesses, you can click the link below, jump on a call if you feel like it might be of interest to you. But other than that, I appreciate you for getting to this point in the video, for watching all the way, and I'll catch you in the next video.